one, I think that could be criminal.
The masturbation one?
Yeah.
That was a big episode.
Yes, it was. No pun intended.
Oh. That's a little hot.
I'm muted, by the way.
What? Oh my
Is
God!
that him?
I've got Karsten on video now.
Here it goes.
Welcome to the podcast that really means it this time. No, really. It's a new year. I'm going to be a completely different person. It's our end of the year and decade episode of the Packfiller. I'm Pat Bulger. It's our last show of the year and we're all together. Well, you know what? And I wrote this when we were technically planning on all being together. But a couple people are missing in action, and I'll get to that here in a minute. But welcome to the show. As in the studio here, we have some of our regulars. I've given you end of the year nicknames. Paul Sippy Cup Maine. This asshole's not here, but I gave him a nickname. So Jack Nuts Out Broadhead. Jackson Almost Legal Bulger. And over the phone we have Karsten Distracted Diva Hagen. Karsten, how are you, man?
Sorry, I was on.
Did you fucking do that on purpose?
Yes.
You did not.
No, not really.
Shit.
I'm making a burger and some polenta. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. And I even went out there and gave myself a title for this last show of the year. Hi, everybody. I'm Pat Cat Herder Bulger. Before we start, I do need to mention some housekeeping items, and some of them are, I think, kind of fun. When I get a little time off during the Christmas holidays, I like to do a little changes and things like that. So if you have noticed, the website has been redone. Not a huge renovation, but something to justify a visit for you guys. We are now posting actual written content. I don't want to call it a blog because I actually don't like that word blog. It just makes it sound like I'm some girl whose mom got her into college for free or something like that. I think of it as a online magazine of opinions, rants, reviews, and experiences. There you go. Does that sound
Hey,
legit?
you just tore that off the website. Isn't that what you put?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was the one who typed it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Still working on the trademark.
Yeah.
Look for regular updates from all the characters in the Packfiller. You can subscribe on the website, or you can just make sure to check back on a regular basis if you are so inclined. We're planning on posts usually on about a weekly basis. And I keep forgetting some of the things I should mention. We are live on Mixler.com right now. I'm looking to make sure that's all good to go. It is. We're also live on YouTube. Our three cameras switching intermittently. Wow. Maybe it's just because
right
I
need
need a little medicine. Which is a Northwest IPA I'm having tonight. It's very nice. Sorry, Paul. You probably
No, I can smell it from here.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
sorry.
That's right.
Back to the website. We're also the videos are now. You can locate those all on the website, which was a long overdue upgrade of the Packfiller and everything like that. So, gentlemen, here we are. The end of the year. The end of the decade. Let's all get reflective and shit. But first, before we get to it, who's riding their bike on a regular occasion?
Describe or what's regular? Once a week?
More than twice a week.
Well,
Indoor
training.
I'm at a solid 4 times a week.
You're at a solid.
Wow.
You lie like a rug. Are you really?
Yeah, but it's all inside for the most part.
Yeah. I had to resort to that the other day too, just because the week before we get out for Christmas, it was 50s and raining, and then this week it's 30s and it never gets above freezing. Paul, you did a Christmas Day ride.
Yeah, wife was off at work, and rode. It was pretty good. It was above freezing, which is okay.
A little jealous of that.
Yeah,
It was nice.
I can't say that I am a very regular rider with, being in college. That's takes a toll.
Yeah.
Takes a toll on the whole riding situation.
Yeah. Well, and it's not like a 9 to 5 thing. Because you never know. Your classes are all over the place, so you can't really fit much in.
It's like an 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. kind of job.
Karsten, you not only have been riding, but was this injury that should we mention? Was this riding based, or was it, I don't know, frustration?
Yeah. No, I was going downhill, and I had some wider bars than normal, and I punched a tree. And like I was not mad at the tree, but I did punch the tree. And after I went over the bars, I realized how stupid it was. Then I went to the urgent care the next day and realized I didn't break anything. It's just my hand is like it's the size of a baseball mitt.
Jesus. Is this the same arm as your epic injury from a few years back?
Nope. Other arm.
Oh.
So you're evening things out, though. Yeah.
No, dude. You got to catch up, Pat.
How do I need to catch up? I got to go out and
crash
a couple times?
Yeah.
Don't fucking say that. I don't want that to be my new year. I'm knocking on wood right now. I don't want to crash.
Pat, it is clear to everybody listening that you need to get hurt in an epic way to keep up with the rest of the people on this podcast.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, great. No, I'm thinking of so many horrible things, so I'm going to just continue on. Okay, whoa. I do have to mention, I have been on the trainer. I'm back to my friends at the Sufferfest. I've done that. And I've also went back to Tailwind, to our little physical therapy, not physical therapy, physical fitness.
Yeah.
God, I can't speak tonight. And I took another class this time, and I'm ready for you guys to make fun of me. I took a Pilates class.
Well, I mean, last time we were outnumbered by women. That's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But you brought that. What was the male, female?
Outnumbered.
Oh.
There was one guy besides me.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that blew me away about the class was it was probably 45 minutes. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I had to rest several times in extreme fatigue. And in fact, my abs are still sore.
You did some planking?
Yeah, some planking, some things where you're doing stuff where I've never realized how horrible my range of motion is.
Mm-hmm.
My arms, elbows, everything like that.
What's your motivation, Pat?
Fitness. I'm honestly at the point now where I know you're waiting. You've got some sort of a punchline waiting for me, Karsten.
He just cocked a gun.
But he did so. Where are you from? I honestly want to. I never realized how much more of non-cycling specific fitness I need, and how much working those other muscle groups could potentially help, and make me a little bit faster in the long run. Why do you ask?
I'm asking because we're a group of 4 to 5 guys who are grappling with middle age, and
Hey.
we're transitioning from results-oriented self-esteem to just not being fat-oriented self-esteem. So I'm genuinely interested.
You
like,
were
what
actually
are you doing to?
You were actually being genuine.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Holy
Totally, dude.
shit!
He must be on
That's what
opiates.
It's a Christmas
No.
miracle.
I got a divorce.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man.
That changed your perspective on life?
Yeah, totally. It's absolutely made me a nicer person.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out where to go with this. Wow. Okay. Well, I
Maybe we should just leave that one alone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Oh my God. Okay. So did anybody get anything cool for Christmas? Cycling oriented, cool for Christmas. Paul,
I'm going to Belgium.
that's your Christmas present.
Yeah.
I like that. I
Hey,
like
Paul,
that.
what's that?
Yeah.
What?
That's right.
Jackson, what'd you get cool for Christmas? Cycling oriented. I'm taking off my sweatshirt.
I got the helmet that was previously mentioned, which I'm pretty excited about.
The one you did on the pre-Christmas show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if anybody's following along, they'll know what we're talking about. And then also some cold weather riding gear, some leg warmers, shoe covers, which I am very excited about. Actually being able to go out when it's a little bit colder than 45 degrees. So
He got those full length, those ASOS
Mhm.
ones that go under
Leg
the
warmers,
shorts
yeah.
super high.
yeah,
And they don't slide down.
No.
that I'm excited about because I
Mhm.
have skinnier legs, so I have tough time with things sliding all over my legs.
And not to take the podcast straight into the gutter, but the only thing I don't like about
Here
those
we
leg
go.
warmers is your junk doesn't have any protection, and you're young. Well, what do you?
A chamois.
But a chamois underneath though.
Yeah, but at this point, I've been on the bike for a little while now. There's no saving it.
Jesus.
Just note that we are listening to a conversation between a father and a son.
Well, exactly, and I'm not forcing you into the realm of
He just wants grandchildren.
of grandchildren.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's right.
but you want everything to work when the day comes. Son, when a man and woman love each other
Oh no!
very much.
Oh no!
Okay, Christmas presents. Carson, did you get anything cool for Christmas?
Sorry, I'm eating. Yeah, I got it. So my son gave me a shirt that I have not put down for 4 days. Like,
A shirt?
yeah, he gave me a Columbia flannel shirt that I have worn every day for 4 days.
It must smell pretty ripe by now.
Yeah.
At this point,
Yeah.
it smells terrible,
Mhm,
but
yeah,
I
it's
just
really, really comfy. And for me, that's all that matters. What about you, Paul?
Belgium.
Paul's going to Belgium for
Yeah.
Christmas.
Mhm.
Yep.
I got. Thanks for asking. A new. I got a new helmet. I'm a POC guy now.
We're gonna be matching.
Yeah.
And Paul, I know you have opinions on such matters.
Yeah. Well, it's just my opinion.
Which is
They're dorky as hell looking. But I have a skinny noggin, so when you put
Yeah.
a POC, even the smallest one, it's like expands past my shoulders.
I don't think
You know.
I'm gonna look like a Mario character. I really hope I'm not.
Some helmets have a very bad habit of making you look rather phallic, and I feel like the POCs don't do that,
Huh.
which I am happy about. I feel like there are some out there that could. I know that there are other people that probably disagree, but
Well, now I'm going to be looking at purple helmets and wondering, did they choose that choice color for a reason? I'm just, thanks.
Hey,
That's
how
a great imagery.
much-
Yeah.
How much time do you spend looking at purple helmets, dude?
I don't, but geez.
now that you mention
every,
it,
Yeah.
every time he urinates. Okay. What else did I get that was cycling oriented? I'm trying to. I hope I'm not spacing out. Oh, 2 rain jackets.
oh yeah,
I did because I got one. It's that Gore shake
Mhm.
dry, black because I want to look pro. I'm gonna bare my soul here for a second because I bought an extra large of the jacket and it fits, but if I were to put anything in my back pockets, nothing would fit. And when you're riding in a rain jacket situation, you always have gear in your back pocket. So yes, I'm potentially making a self-shaming fat joke, but Jackson, you tried on the same jacket and it fits you perfectly, and you are a skinny dude.
yeah. So that means sizing must be a little interesting on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So I had to order
The
a
gore.
second one.
That was gore.
Yeah, it's like a $230 jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm. That was, I think, one of the trivia prices right thing. That
Was it? Oh, it might have
Oh,
been.
I think
Oh,
it was,
might
yeah.
have been
Last-
Castelli's.
on that
I
last
don't
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that because now the excuses are gone, and our order from Panache is supposed to be here. They said late December, early January. So I'm waiting for the clothing to get here. I really want the clothing to get here. I really do, especially for you before you go back to school, Jack.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wear it till after the 31st anyway.
Why not?
UCI rules.
I forgot. You can't.
Yeah.
The whole legal switching teams,
Yeah.
things like that. So anyway, okay, I gotta ask this since we are 2 days away from the new year. Are there plans to ride on New Year's Day?
Yes.
Paul already said yes.
It's 46 degrees in Spokane, supposedly, last time I checked, with rain, which you can experience your new rain jacket.
I won't have it by then, but
I can experience his new
Yeah.
rain
Oh,
jacket.
there we go.
son of a bitch, I'll be in the garbage bag again. Karsten, do you ride on New Year's Day?
I will, but it'll probably be on the trainer because I live a lot higher than you guys.
What's the elevation, Ben?
Where I live, it's like 3,500.
Yeah, you got us by
I think we're at
About
20
1,500 feet. We're
Yeah.
19 to 2,000.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, all I know is you guys are pussies, and it's always been that way.
Oh, he just popped up on your screen again.
The
Hey, how you doing?
oh, Jesus. Are you lying down?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, I was-
You're eating dinner while on your back?
oh, am I on the camera? Look at
You
me.
just switched it on. I'm not turning mine
now
on.
he's flipping this off.
I'm not turning mine on. So
I
anyway,
did not want this to happen. Well,
let's
there we go.
okay, gentlemen, let's get serious now. I've been teasing this element of the podcast for about 3 months, well, maybe 2 months, but it is honestly time to put our money where our collective mouths are and state official. I don't want to call these resolutions because resolutions never succeed, but any type of a goal or an objective for 2020 in terms of sport specific. For example, I'll go out there first. I have several objectives for 2020, and I'm saying them now, and because people can call me out on them if I fail miserably on them. Number one is at least 20 start lines. I've done that
Nice.
one every year.
Nice.
I've done that one almost every year, but I would like to strive, and this is for those of you looking at me on YouTube right now, going, dude, that guy's a cyclist. I would like to strive for 5 top 10s.
Good.
That's an objective.
Yeah.
I would like to attend Masters Nationals. That's goal number 3. Goal number 4, I would like to lose my final 15 pounds that I've been striving to lose for about a long time. And finally, I would like to begin my official ride across the country. Jackson, you know about that. I don't know if I told you about that, Paul.
Don't know.
It is honestly every year, every summer, taking a short chunk of the United States and riding it and from point to point, then starting at that end point the next year and continuing on. For example, this year I have an in-law who lives on the ocean and on the Washington coast, so we're gonna start in the town of LaConner, Washington.
Oh,
I'm gonna put my front wheel in the ocean, and then we're gonna ride to Spokane via. I'm thinking about via Leavenworth and that pretty area, that ride there.
Highway 2.
Yep. And then next year we ride from Spokane to Bozeman, Montana. Year after that we ride.
Can I interject that
Yeah.
LaConner, between LaConner and the ocean is probably like 150 miles of Olympic Peninsula.
Shut your fucking semantics up.
Okay, just being,
It's saltwater, God damn it.
sometimes depending on the tide. Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm like, okay, keep going.
Okay, now that Karsten's ruined my dream, what are you planning on doing, fucker?
Exceeding my professional goals, and making the drop on Lone Pine, which is a big ass drop here in Bend, like a freaking huge like blind drop. That if I make that thing, that my whole year is made.
Can I suggest cutting your bars down?
Now, this is a downhill. What? I need more detail.
It's midway through a trail called Tyler's Traverse, and if you choose to do Lone Pine, you get through some immediate, technical stuff that's pretty easy for most people, and then you do this drop that's like huge, and you don't see it coming, and it's like, it's big, and and that's my goal. That's my only goal this year, is to make that drop.
Can I ask you a question here, Carson? Is this when you take that Lone Pine? Isn't that what it's called?
Yep.
Okay. If you get to that point, is there another way around it?
It's Lone Wolf. It's Lone Wolf, not
Lone Wolf. Okay.
Okay.
So is there, if you get to that point, is there any way around it, or is it like when you get out on the high dive and you're looking down and you got to take the ladder shamefully down? Is it like one of those?
So if you decide to commit to Lone Wolf, you need to. If you commit to it, that's all you got. If you want to keep going, you just keep going down Tyler's Traverse, which is in itself challenging and hard. But for 50-year-old dude, hard enough. But for me, I want to do the big 6-foot drop, which is I think we should all do it. I think you and me and Jack and Pat should come to Bend in July.
I'd go to Bend.
I'll videotape it.
So when
Get
is
some big bikes?
When's Cascade this year? That would be the time I'd go down.
You want to do a big drop like?
No, I'm not. I don't do mountain bike stuff. I do not. I don't even own one.
Yes,
really?
you do.
What?
No.
You own the Serrata.
The Serrata, the 1991 XT top mount thumb shifters.
Counts.
Yeah.
This is a whole other episode that Paul doesn't own a mountain bike.
Most people know that.
Yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm.
So
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Your objective,
Don't do it.
Wow.
your objective for 2020 is to ride this specific section and come out of it unscathed.
That's it. That's all I want, is to make this one specific drop on Lone Wolf in 2020. That's it. That's all I want.
Wow, you're man.
And if you saw it, dude, you would agree with me. Like, it's that big.
I'd like to make fun of it because you made fun of my ocean thing, but I got nothing. I got nothing.
Yeah, calling LaConner like the western edge of the U.S. is sort of like calling Spokane like an enlightened city.
Oh
man.
Yeah. I thought you said you were nice now.
Yeah, I think, it's not.
I'm trying.
It's not coming
trying.
through there, my friend.
It's one button away, guys, and his call has officially ended. I honestly, I'm just like, do I hit mute on the soundboard, or I just bring on the camera and tell him to fuck off? Or something
You guys do have good sushi. I will say that.
Did you? So you did go to that place?
I have not. I will go there Friday night.
Okay, right on.
That's my admission. I'm going there Friday night.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So anytime you knock Spokane, we have been the state of Washington. In fact, on the West Coast, the ugly redheaded stepchild.
Yeah.
We're used to it. It's like we're callous. That doesn't hurt.
Don't move
I just
here.
want you to know.
Don't move here.
Yeah, no one come to this.
Here's my question. You could do a whole show on this. Why isn't Spokane way more expensive than it is?
It is.
Way more
it's
popular.
incredibly expensive.
Go away, bitch.
It's incredibly expensive. Don't come and live here. It's
Cost
terrible.
of living is through the roof.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Oh, I've heard it's terrible. Yeah.
You're dumb.
Yeah. Just stay away. Stay away. Jackson, cycling focused goals for 2020.
Oh fuck.
He had to get his affirmation in.
I think for mine, you and I talked about this. I want to be actually like legitimately fit before like the first week of summer, because how it always works is I go to school, I come back, and then I ride a bunch, and then it all goes away when school starts. So I hope that doesn't. So I hope that does not happen again, and I'd like to win one race this year.
Win one.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't matter which terrain style.
Nope. Last year it was mountain bike. This year it could be road, gravel, mountain bike again. We'll see what happens. You know. Yeah.
Because his USA Cycling license officially renewed this year, and I didn't even know you were on auto renew. Which is that a new USAC thing? That all
I was, but I was on the same team for 10 years, so it was pretty nice. So
but it didn't. It came out of your bank.
I knew I would cut it off. Yeah.
Did you? Yeah,
I knew auto renew it. It comes in your email. It says, "Hey, you're up." Just to let you know it's coming your way.
Oh, did you get that, Jackson?
That's what I forwarded to you. Yeah, I got an email
But
today.
it said it's coming.
Oh,
it didn't say it's coming. It came.
It just came.
Okay.
Yeah, for me at least.
100 bones.
Around there, yeah.
Licensing fee and Washington State Bicycling Association. Mine comes out tomorrow, so. Hey, guess who gets punched in the gut twice in 2 days from my USAC?
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Paul, goals. Speak 'em.
Huh. Well, I always like to think that I'm going to start, do one of the early races over on the west side in March, but I don't know how feasible that's. There's possible changes in my life coming to the top of the year. If not, then it's full gas. But anyway, I do want to do Wenatchee Stage Race Durabloom. I think that even just to throw the money at it, because it's a good program, I think that Ace, who promotes that race, has done a phenomenal job. I've done it a couple of times. And I'm not a big stage racer, but I would like to go to Baker City too. That's another stage race. But on one day races, gosh, whatever comes up, I want to hit a couple. Try not to miss a single, week training race here. Yeah.
Oh, the twilight races and things like that. Yeah.
And then I'd like to head down to a big pipe dream. I do want to attend Masters Nationals.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I mean, because that was why I put it on there, and I was going, that'd be one. Yeah. Fuck it, let's just road trip and go.
And no ambitions. There's a couple of characters in my category that when I look who won the road race last year was this. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy, Michael Carter.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Whoa.
And then he got fifth in the crit. There's another guy, Norm Alvis. Have you guys heard of this guy?
Yeah, Norm.
Yeah, that's who I race against. So expectations are pretty low.
But just get out there and do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Top half, top third.
I'd like to. I mean, big goal would be a top 20 in any of those.
Okay.
I might even do the TT just for giggles.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Maybe we should have like a virtual stage race with us. So one stage would be descending Mount Spokane, another stage would be a crit, and another stage would be a day at Whistler on big bikes.
I would affordable. Withdraw. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that would cover all the disciplines except for triathlon, which I'm not going to touch. But
Pat did.
We don't talk about that.
Really?
I did. I have triathlon. Did. Hi, Raj.
Did you wear a Speedo?
I did, and I think I've talked about that on this podcast several times. Yeah, I had a Speedo with a chamois, and as soon as I got on the saddle, I hopped on like a cross rider, and it looked like my water broke.
Oh, I remember this story. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I don't think any of us are going to do that because we're we have dignity. But I think I think if we did like a
Roger's listening.
Drink.
Oh, have a drink.
Drink.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, Roger. If
we
did a thing where we touched every discipline on this, because I'm firmly in the gravity crowd now. Like that's all I want to do.
Gravity.
So what if we did?
Okay.
What if all we did was, 3 stages of gravity for one crit, one road downhill, one day at the park.
There are so many things I need to talk about on this because and not in a 1-hour show because it's like, first of all, none of anything you described has any actual climbing in it.
Okay, if you want to throw a climbing day in.
No, what I'm fine with that. I can't climb to save my life, but you were just like, okay, we speed down Mount Spokane and we ride a flat crit and then we fall off of our bikes in a terrain park. So that's basically the 3 options you gave us. Now, I will do it if Amanda Batty can stand in for me in the terrain in stage 3.
Oh, nice.
Sure, no problem.
Friend of the show, Amanda could stand in for me. I'd have to probably pay for her to get there. I know she'd dust your ass.
She would.
Okay.
Unbelievable. Yeah, absolutely. I just think so. If you want to throw like a climbing stage in there, no problem. I just think that we we have never done an episode where we fellas have ridden together at all.
I do believe that, first of all, in Bike Town, we all rode together.
True.
No, you and me rode together.
I rode with you.
Jackson was there.
And Jackson.
Jackson's been the constant in all the bike towns.
Yep.
And second of all, we were planning on this huge. In case you don't remember, there was this downhill challenge down Mount Spokane.
I'll do it.
Bikes
I'll
versus
make
bikes.
it part of this. Like, that's fine. No problem.
Let's just baby step.
Yeah.
Honestly, let's just baby step. I don't see shit happening from you, man. Even though you just claim to be a new nice guy, but you know, your nice guy thing is just a sham. All right, let's move on. We are talking about the end of the year, the end of the decade, and I sent you guys some questions earlier today that you all needed to come up with your own personal opinion. Nobody wins a point here or anything like that, but you all have to state who you truly believe is the winner of each particular category. Jackson was looking at his phone with a strange concern.
I didn't get the question.
You didn't get the 3. Okay, Jackson, you're screwed, dude. Okay, they are in no particular order. Number 1, of the 2010s, from 2010 to 2020, the best rider of the decade in your personal opinions. Paul, you want to go first? Best rider of the decade.
Now,
And
no one.
you can state why.
And I will say why. It'll be Vincenzo Nibali. He's the only guy since the 1980s who's won all 3 Grand Tours, and he's won 3 monuments. No one has ever done that. This guy is a rounded rider. He's done, he even put his hat in the ring in 2018. Flanders, weighing, 62 kilos or something like that. So, yeah, without a doubt, that's, I can't think of anybody else has done that. Merckx, Bernard, yeah.
That's a good choice.
And all 3 Grand Tours.
That's not a bad selection. Yeah. I have
the
no
other one that was
that.
close is Voss. Mariana Voss.
God damn it! You're only allowed one.
That's what I was. You're stealing my thunder, dude. That's what I was going to say.
Karsten, you were going to say Mariana Voss.
Yeah, I was. That was my choice.
You know what? I had a tie, and she was one of my choices too of the best rider of the decade.
Her or Vanderpool. I mean, one of the two.
Yeah. Jackson, I have a feeling you have my other choice.
I am, of course, going to say, with no surprise, Peter Sagan.
Yeah.
I think my reason will be Mr. Consistency. I feel like no matter what, we always see him in a close to winning or winning position on these flat or kind of classics stages. And not to mention now, what is it? 7 green jerseys?
Mm-hmm, 7.
Yeah. And 3-time world champion.
And consecutive too.
Yeah, all consecutive. So I mean, I think that kind of, for me, signals somebody who is who's done it over and over again. And yeah, for me, the best rider of the decade.
I had Mariana Voss. I had Peter Sagan. I actually threw Chris Froome in there because he whether you like him or not, he is going to be in the record books.
Without a doubt, one of the greatest Grand Tours of that decade, without a doubt.
And a dark horse in there, I had Philippe Gilbert. Just because
that's a good one.
He's done over 10
years.
Over 10 years has been great choices. Okay, that's question number 1. Jackson, here's a new one for you. Best ride or performance of the decade. Karsten, you want to go first? Best ride or performance?
Oh God. Oh my God. Give me a second because I've got a couple of.
Okay, I'll go. 2019
go
Colorado Classic, Chloe Dygert. I personally think with what she did, winning
every stage
of the 2019 Colorado Classic. I have another race, but I think somebody else might take it. So that is my choice. Is Chloe Dygert from 2019 Colorado Classic. Jackson, you got one?
I think 2019 Tour de France, Julian Alaphilippe. How he nobody was expecting him to stay in the yellow jersey for that long, and he fought with all his might and put all he could, and finished a lot further up than he probably should have, I think. So, yeah.
That was my second choice.
Was it?
Yeah.
What
My
was your
first
first?
one is Cancellara in 2010.
No.
He, like everybody says, he was so powerful, everybody thinks it's a motor, and that's fucking stupid. But,
Yeah.
maybe dope if anything, but the motor thing is just stupid. But, yeah, the way
Was that Roubaix?
both Roubaix and Flanders, so
Yeah.
back to back. And Flanders, he and Boonen, both in their national team jersey, is like awesome. The Swiss champion and Belgian champion, and they hit the Muir, and Cancellara just fucking lit it up. By the time he got over the top, after 200 meters, he had like an extra over the top, another 300 meters, and then Roubaix a week following, he just like punched everybody's ticket. I think about 30K out. It was phenomenal. I've never seen. It doesn't make for good racing,
Yeah.
but that performance in that week, and I think he won E3 the week before, and I don't know if
Jeez,
anybody's ever won E3,
Yeah.
Flanders, and Paris-Roubaix.
Well,
So that's phenomenal.
I would say, for me, I would say Fuglsang he had a couple. I mean, he did not dominate, but he had a couple of amazing performances, like that.
This year.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
We're all picking fairly recent stuff, except for you, Paul. So, yeah. Shows our short attention spans.
now
We're Americans.
What was the race where Fuglsang was descending and he like hit a
Liège,
hit a
Bastogne,
pothole
Liège.
and he-
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he won that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a brilliant victory that was, and we've all seemed to have forgotten that. Like he could have been on his ass at 50 miles an hour, and like that was amazing. Like that was great.
I also think this last year's Amstel Gold with Mathieu van der Poel, that
Oh, yeah.
finish was one of the best finishes I've
And
ever seen.
although he didn't podium, he got fourth in Flanders, and that's after he face planted.
Van der Poel?
Yep,
I will say
that was amazing.
another performance. I think current mountain bike cross country world champion Nino Schurter, how he's won so many back to back world champions.
The guy is a stud. I
Yeah.
agree with you. I agree
But
with
he
you.
came across somebody really tough that he lost to for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Mathieu van der Poel beat him several times.
I want to know when that guy's going to reach his peak, when Mathieu van der Poel's going to burn out.
He's got a recipe of
Dude,
pigeon pie.
watching that guy in
I gotta
person,
yeah.
like because I was in Belgium. a month
Oh,
ago.
you too?
Yeah.
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 Wow.
I got to watch that guy in action in person, and holy shit!
That was in the cross
Like,
race.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Just like how do you do that? You know, like it's watching that guy go over barriers without even thinking about it. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said this week he just kind of cleaned up too. He even crashed on the
Yeah.
final lap. What was it? Yesterday's race, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
That he just had a good lead and went into the barriers, got in a rut, and he just still has enough time. To,
He's just so powerful. Like
Yeah.
he's going his closest thing
We're all
in
kind
our
of man
lifetime.
crushing on him.
Yeah,
here, aren't we?
yeah. He's the closest thing to what we will see like Merckx. He'll never be Merckx because Merckx is so phenomenal. I don't think I'll ever see Van der Poel win Grand Tour. I think he could do okay on stages, but but I think he possibly could be the first 5-time Monument winner. I think
Wow.
easily, but unless Philippe Gilbert
Yeah.
wins Milan San Remo next year.
Okay, continuing on. Biggest innovation of the decade. And I'm talking about products or events or anything like that might have changed. For example, I'm going to throw one out there right now. I'm going to say e-bikes are one of the biggest innovations of the decade, in my
On
personal
a positive, negative.
Positive or negative, I don't care. I think they're changing. I think they're changing the sport for a lot of people. I don't like that the UCI is now making them a part of competition, but I think when you've got people who are now able to go out there and do some of the stuff that they never could before, I think it's do they have to earn it? Fuck you. I climbed up here myself. Downhillers use a truck. But I think it's probably the biggest innovation in the last decade. That's my personal opinion. I don't care who wants
You're
to.
nailing it.
Uh,
That's
Karsten, that's your opinion too?
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. I've got another one for you, but I think you're right on. Like that's, the fact that you don't need to hire a buddy with his pickup truck to get you to the top. You can shuttle the same trail, 6 times instead of 4 times or 3 times with an e-bike. I think that's significant.
I think my innovation is going to be 2 things that are currently sitting or hanging right behind me, and that is the gravel bike. I think that is a very big deal. It's come to fame very recently, and I mean, we have World Tour pros that have recently spoken with you, who are leaving the World Tour for racing in these gravel races. We see like former pros like Ted King going and winning all of these things, and I think it is something that we've that has been compared to like the old 90s mountain bikes,
Yeah.
But it's all, the technology's been there all along. It's just pretty much putting the final piece in the puzzle.
Yeah.
And so I think they've been a really big innovation.
And it seems weird that the whole gravel phenomenon isn't really technically something that's new. It is. I mean, we've been riding gravel on road bikes for years. Cross bikes have been around for, forever. But calling it and identifying it what it is now, I think what you're talking about, that the fact that now there are gravel races, there is a gravel movement, so to speak, and I think I agree with you. That was one of my other choices. So, yeah.
I think that the advent of the quote unquote gravel bike is starting to inform the design of road bikes in general. In that road bikes have more clearance, they're trending massively toward disc brakes. Like it or not,
I don't have a vomit.
positions are more upright. I just think that the acceptance of the fact that race forums need to be on gravel sort of by necessity are informing designs of road bikes in general.
Yeah. And it's no, I agree with you that the technology you're not out there riding a cross bike anymore. It has become its own beast. The fact that the gravel bikes, I'm looking, Jackson, as you say, over your shoulder, the fact that these bikes can handle, thanks to disc brakes. Sorry, Paul.
No, that's a
they
good,
can
good
handle
thing on those things.
multiple wheel dimensions. You can ride a 700C wheel. You can ride a 26. You can ride a 27.5. Any type of wheel on these things. Man, that's just a really innovation. There's an innovation.
As our good friend Morgan Johnson said, one bike to rule them all.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the fastest in a crit, but you could ride a crit.
But you could ride a crit on it.
Yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
It'd be a little frustrating at first, but you'd get used to it.
Paul's just inside this. You want to hear inside Paul's mind right now?
Well, I tell you what, I can't argue about the gravel bikes. That's not what I picked, but I'm going to chime in on it. And disc brakes are absolutely great in almost every discipline but road. I've made that statement. I don't need more clearance.
Hold on a second.
But hang on. No, you got to let me finish.
Turn.
It's my finish.
I'm going to mute you, Carson.
I can guarantee I will be on disc brakes probably within 5 years. There's no doubt about it.
You're not
it
going to
has
be able to get in
for
a bike without
road
'em.
situation. It is not quite ideal. When they start getting things a little bit more dialed in, yeah. But at this point in time, it's the advantages are pretty marginal unless it's piss and rain or whatever. And anyway, but I think gravel bikes, and getting back to that, I think that's
Your
a great
innovation.
invention. Yeah. I think that is huge. And I remember a friend of mine who owns a carbon fiber wheel company. Oh, he's partners with it, Ride Fast, and he was down at the show, and he's like, this is when the industry came out with gravel bikes. He goes, can you believe this? They're like trying to create something, it's just a cross bike. And back then they were. There's just cross bike, and they put this name on it. But I think that was the beginning, and now we have something that is totally legit, and I hope, well, I know it's gonna it's going to grow.
Yeah.
But I hope it just doesn't go, crazy like mountain bikes and triathlons did and road racing in the
It
80s
will.
and stuff. But
It will.
yeah,
Yeah.
just maybe sometime we could learn.
Yeah.
But now getting to my innovation. You guys are going to poo-poo it, I know. But for me and everybody I know, they use it a lot. It's Strava.
Oh, I'm not
Strava
gonna
was
poo-poo that.
to me it was like one of these things that I can keep track of my own records and stuff. Instead, we used to have those logs and stuff, and I'd
Yeah.
get home tired, and I'm like, I got to write down this information.
Training
before I went.
diaries. Yeah.
Don't need it. It's right there. A lot of people I've got contacts. I've got friends that in Belgium that I follow. There's, blah blah blah. It's not a bad thing, and I think people go nuts with the KOM,
Yeah.
and I did for a while because I was one of the earlier people in Spokane. And I had them all.
You did. You had assloads of them. You had all of them. Yeah.
But then all these really better riders beat me. So.
Well, I mean, it is the social media of cycling. I think like the best way.
It is.
Yeah, and I think it's a really great way of innovating, so everyone can kind of share their accomplishments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
I mean,
is pretty much what social media is if you think about it.
Yeah.
exactly. Like, well, we had Brent Soderberg here, a couple of weekends ago,
Yeah.
and I can follow what he's doing and that type of thing. And I'm not a big Facebook guy or Instagram, so I'd rather see, shit. He just went out for a 80K ride or something.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's motivational.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Well, so not that I'm complaining, but I would posit that Strava is responsible for, in some part, for the decline in numbers at races.
At races.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not
because
going to
people,
disagree with you.
What do you base that on, though?
it's
Is
not
there-
necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I'm not, questioning you. I'm just wondering, do you have like some statistics on that? Do you think that's somebody's made that claim, or is that a feeling?
Well, USAC and Obra's numbers have gone down year on year, but Strava's numbers are going up consistently. So to me, what that says is that people are more content with this, the virtual aspect of racing rather than driving 3 hours on a weekend to do a crit. You know what I mean? Like,
You could also say that about things like Zwift, though, too.
it's another thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I blame Zwift more than I blame Strava.
I think Zwift is more seasonal, though. You could be stoked about a Strava result all year long. Zwift up here, you're only going to be really excited about winter results.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you say your innovation of the year? Of the decade?
Me?
Yeah.
He agreed with you.
Figuring out long travel 2-nighter, like in gravity related events, I think is a big deal.
Totally. You've totally gone gravity on us. Somebody's gonna have to drink every time you say gravity from now on.
Well, all I'm saying is the fact that the industry has figured out how to make 2-nighter wheel bikes effective at long travel down gravity-oriented courses. It's something that they've been trying for a couple of decades, and the fact that the last 2 years, really, they've been able to figure it out. It's a big deal, and for me, it's a revenue driver, and so I'm excited about it. Yeah, for sure.
Carson, you could probably help me with this better. Correct me on when we went from 26 to 29. What year was that? Was that early 2000s?
I would say, really, that's back when cross country was still, king, and that would be like early 2000s at best.
Okay. And then when
And
was the shift from 29 to 27.5?
Oh, that was clearly 2013, 2014.
Okay, so that classifies in our decade, even though I don't know if that's as big of a deal because you still, as you're just saying, you still are hearing people on 29ers.
Well, there's a lot of people at gravity parks that are still into 27.5 uber alles, but the problem is figuring out how to make all the dots connect, and it's not easy. So it hasn't been until the last 2 years before, bike companies have figured out how to make effective long travel 2.9er bikes that are decent in park situations. And that's, I think just because of the engineering involved, I think that's significant.
Yeah.
Because you see the World Cup results now are trending toward 2.9er bikes.
Oh, there's another change. People are going to go from the 650s.
Yeah, back to 2.9ers. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It's 2.9er. It's
You're in the industry. You don't care.
Yeah,
It's more change.
Well, I'm glad because my mountain bike is, and well, I'm on a hardtail, but it's will always be a 2.9er, and I'm not gonna go out and switch as the wind blows.
You can now buy a 2.9er that you can have a great time with at a lift serve park. And also, go riding on your local trails. That wasn't possible 4 or 5 years ago. And I think that's a big innovation.
Yeah. Okay. I was hoping you'd come off with something pretty technical, and that thank you. You warmed my heart.
Sure.
Next of the decade question is the biggest prick of the decade. Who is the biggest asshole of the decade, in your personal opinion? I'm going to go out, and I think
we're all going to agree with this.
I'm going to go out first, and I'm going to say I have a tie.
Come on, Mike.
I have a tie between Olive Tinkoff and Alexander Vinokurov. I think Tinkoff should win it though, because I think that guy was just a douche.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
And if it's slander, goddamn, he can sue me, and I would lose honestly everything because he has a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But I always thought he was a douche. Anybody else want to follow that? Jackson, you're just like everybody's nice.
So like, I thought Mark Cavendish was kind of crappy at some points.
Yeah, I hated him for so long, but now I'm like, God, I like this dude. I'm turning on him.
He's had a slight change of attitude, I've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't change that he was still kind of crappy during the decade. I think, of course, I'm going to go back to the Sagan when he got kicked out of the tour. Do
you think that was Cav, or do you think that was Cav's people?
I think that. Well, I've read a book, obviously, specifically from, I read the autobiography of
Sagan's
Peter Sagan.
book. Yeah.
And he was talking, and it was kind of interesting to hear about him talk about how he said he went up to Cav afterward and said he knew what happened. They both knew what really happened in that moment, but Cav didn't do anything to stop his people,
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the issue, and I think that's where my problem comes. I don't really love people that are going to do whatever they can to get their competitors so they can win easier. I think you should compete with everybody at their highest power to show how much better you are than everybody else. I think it's unfair if you just get someone kicked out because you're worried about not doing as well, And that I could get some comments back from that, but that's how I feel.
And I've reached out to Cav about being on the show, so you've just basically sealed that phrase. but thanks, buddy.
Sorry about
thanks,
that.
pal.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, I know I've been mean to you over the decade, and I know my son just called you the biggest prick of the decade. You want to come on the show? I'll send you a hat.
A hat. That'll get him back.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Well, shit. Sponsored
Hey,
by McLaren,
Yeah.
but actually, just anyway. Paul, Carson, you got one? Biggest prick of the decade?
Yeah, the Russian Federation's attitude towards doping and where it's gotten them.
Good one.
Oh,
Good move.
that's good.
Good one.
That's very good.
That's where we are today.
Yeah, Paul.
Well, I mean, in short memory, it has to be Rowan Dennis. I've never seen in my lifetime
God.
somebody
Good one.
in the middle of a race as big as it. And there's another podcast with a couple of guys
Yeah.
that are racers that
Current racers
that have him on their team right now,
Yeah.
and it's called What's Occurring.
Okay, you can mention it.
All
it's
right,
okay.
all right. I'm looking
just
to
as
see
long
the
as it isn't that. Just as long as it isn't that one.
Nope.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah.
No, it's Luke Rowe and Geraint Thomas, and
Well,
they
that's
had
legit.
and they had. I mean, for content wise, it's
Yeah.
kind of here their point of view.
Yeah.
They're just talking,
Yeah.
kind of like what we're doing now.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like the structured. You know, you don't have the journalist type of.
But they
thing,
can't do this.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But they do it, but not.
They
You know,
just
and they are a couple of Welshmans that are just a crack up.
Yeah.
And, but they had Rowan Dennis in there, and as they put it, dude, you're tapped because this guy is so tweaked, and he out of his words, and you can go to that episode when he's on there. He has to have everything in 0, 5, 10s, 15s, and stuff. So when he's pedal stroking, there's a bridge. If he's like 4 strokes, he'll shift in a lower gear to get that extra stroke. He counts window panes as he goes by.
That's obsessive compulsive disorder.
Exactly.
That's what it's plain and
it
simple.
starts explaining what his behavior.
Any good time trialer is absolutely OCD. If you're going to be
To that
good
extent,
time
though?
trialing,
This is
that's
clinical,
absolutely-
though.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is
you know,
clinical.
Okay. Wow,
But-
really?
Yeah. So then it explained a lot. But
Yeah.
the I don't know. You
know
make that
what?
much money, and not that it's a lot, because based on other sports people, cyclists don't make that much money.
Yeah.
But there's you put a stain in cycling, when you exit that way.
I never
Yeah,
thought
you
that
should listen
could
to
be an issue that he's dealing with.
But you listen to
where-
that podcast, I almost started feeling sorry for the guy.
Well,
he's
it
like,
does. It explains some of his behavior in a very interesting
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Hi, my name's Pat. I studied psychology and taught it in high school and things like that. So this is honestly, my God, the skin suits, the bikes, the things like
everything
that.
has to have
It explains a lot of his behavior, and he could have had a very serious moment in the tour with his routine, with his methods.
But
Holy
I have
shit.
I have a slash. Whoa!
Yeah.
Out of that same podcast, the one that nobody seems
Another
to like,
prick?
another prick that
Oh.
we don't get to see because we're on the side. But
Yeah.
riders on their team, and also according to these guys and other teams, do not like this guy, Nicky Terpstra.
Nicky Terpstra,
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Really?
he's
Okay.
not well liked amongst teammates and stuff. And they said in the tour, he had a tendency, even when he was with Direct Energy,
Mm-hmm.
no teammates or anything. Teams are trying to do their stuff. He purposely just gets in their line and fucks things up. And he's not going to win. He knows it's like a hill stage, but he'll just start dicking with people.
just doing it to be a
just
prick.
to be an ass.
Wow. Those are good. That's a
So
good.
those would
that's
be.
a good bag of pricks.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
good bag. It's a bag of dicks.
Got good bag of dicks. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm almost to the last of the decades, you guys. Best personal moment on the bike of the decade. I guess, God, I don't want to be a huge prick because my son's in the room, but I'm gonna be selfish about this one, and I'm gonna actually lean towards the mountain bike here. Karsten, you'll be happy to hear this. My best moment of the decade was traveling to and competing in the Leadville 100. That was just, it kind of gave me a huge rebirth in terms of racing again, and it wasn't about placing high. It wasn't about anything like that. I didn't do it necessarily competitively, but I went there and I did the whole thing, and it really kind of lit the fire in a lot of senses in terms of racing and riding again. So that was mine of the decade. Anybody want to go next?
Sure.
Jackson?
I will also stay on the mountain bike side of it. Last year, I had the lovely pleasure to win the mountain bike this Wednesday night mountain bike series that we have here, and I also was lucky enough to win one of the races, like one of the individual races as well. So I've never won a race before in my life, let alone a series. So that was a pretty big deal. But yeah, that's probably mine.
Cool. Paul?
Well, I have two. Since road cycling is a team sport, I have a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
memory of that, and then I have an individual. And when it comes to road cycling, because you have a plan when you go in it. It rarely goes to your plan.
Yeah.
So the team experience was with River City Red. We had this guy who won, came from a different team and joined our team. He won Tour de Bloom, and so the stages were a 9-mile time trial, criterium on the later in the afternoon, and then a road race, and it went up Malagna, which is this 14-foot climb up to Mission Ridge, and then back down. Not my cup of tea. So
14 feet?
14 feet. No, 14 miles. Excuse me. Yeah. We don't have elevation here.
It's all
so,
gravity,
yeah.
bro.
Oh,
So
man.
anyway, what happened is in the time trial, our teammate was in third place, and the crit came up, and I said, I got the team together, and I said, this is what we need to do. It's omnium based, not time based.
Yeah.
And so I said, we need to get. John was our team leader. I said, we need to get John protected, not see the wind, but every single one of us needs to be out front and just put it on fire.
Yeah.
And so a teammate shoots off, opening gun, boom, takes off. They catch him in 2 laps. I go off, and I blasted, and I was out until about, I could hear the time. I had like a 30-second lead, and then I could hear it shrinking and shrinking. And there was Alan, who's Jacob, who's a racer here in Spokane.
Yeah.
He was screaming out the splits, and then I was dying. And there's like 5 laps to go. 12 seconds next lap. 6 seconds. Yeah, it's going
And
down.
then when they don't
And
tell
then
you
they
any more
come.
splits, you're
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh shit. Here it comes. And I could. It was a heavy headwind and everything, but nevertheless, I get caught, and John launches with 2 laps to go, and just drops. And so the guy that was leading after the time trial, his team was just chasing. They couldn't chase him, so he ended up winning the sprint. We won every single preem. We won like $350 worth of preem and money and everything. We threw it into a big pot, and John is like a great cook. We had filet mignon that night in our place, and then a bunch of other stuff, and we just drank and had a party. And the road race didn't turn out so good, but I don't know why. But on a personal level, we had we resurrected the Green Bluff race.
Okay. Yeah.
And
that was a brutal
yeah,
race.
it's just it's what is that, about a 4 or 5 kilometer climb, but it's only about like 5-6% or something at the most. But anyway, I was fit. I knew I was running good, and I was riding with CP. And I said, if I'm in the lead at this point, I'm attacking right at this point, in a kilometer from the finish, because it's just a gradual uphill and then downhill, and I could just pour it on. And that's exactly what I did, and that's how I won the race. And it's like, that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
There's a lot more detail in it, but
Yeah.
I'll save it for the blog.
There we go.
Yeah.
What did I call it?
That was great.
The
Posts.
online magazine of opinions, rants, reviews, and experiences.
There you go.
There you are.
And Carson just posted. He got one posted.
He
today.
did. Carson did a brilliant submission today about his old magazines. But Karsten, it is your turn to talk about your best moment on the bike of the decade. And if you talk about either punching a tree or hitting a metal
Sign to
fucking
rip
gateway, I hope that's not one of the two.
No, I'm gonna get meta on you. Like for me,
Meta.
it's learning how to have fun on a bike that has zero ties to results, or
Cool.
just fucking having a great time riding a mountain bike, mostly downhill, with my son and friends, and just like not giving a shit about how fast I'm going anymore. That's it.
Dude, I agree with that. And
That's
Very
cycling.
much so.
Yeah. And Jackson, one of the things I was going to honestly say, and I'm not saying this because I am technically saying this because you're in the room. Bender's wanting to come in the room, but one of mine was our first Midnight Century.
Yeah,
Where
that
you
was
and I
really
did that
cool.
together. That was so awesome.
Wow.
It was absolutely
Yeah.
brilliant being able to ride that together. So sorry, that's cheesy. You guys, we are at an hour and 4 into our podcast. I have all kinds of stuff that I could throw at you, but my wife usually lets the dog into the room when she wants to let us know that we're taking too long. So should we do, I'll throw this out to you guys. Should we do one of two things. I have the taste challenge, which Karsten will just have to go simply off of our descriptions of the taste challenge, which is Noon versus Hammer Nutrition versus Scratch. Or I have a list of true false responses that we can all place our bets in for things that are going to happen within the new year. For example, one of them is Alejandro Valverde will win at least one of either the Olympic road race or the Worlds. What would you say, true to false, for that?
False.
So okay, do you guys want to do that, or do you want to do the taste challenge?
That.
All right.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll rapid fire the true false challenge. Hi, Michelle. There are 3 cameras broadcasting this. She ducks. I really hope that went out over the. There's the back of your head and the dog. Come on in, hun. All right. This has got to be rapid fire because we're already quite a ways into this. All right. Number 1, Philippe Gilbert will win Milan-San Remo. Karsten, true or false?
True or false?
Yes.
I say maybe.
Fuck. This is how we're
False.
starting?
False.
Jackson, true or
True.
false? Paul.
True.
True. Number 2. This is, by the way, from our friends at La Flamme Rouge, the red flag.
Yeah.
And you can shove Bender down whenever you want to. Number 2, Mathieu van der Poel will win one monument in 2020.
True. Fuck yeah.
I'm gonna say he's gonna have a weird year. False.
True.
True. I haven't answered. He bugs me when he licks, but if you can throw him down if you want. I think Philippe Gilbert will not win Milan-San Remo, so I said false. Mathieu van der Poel will win a monument, yes. Vincenzo Nibali will win either the Olympic road race or the Worlds.
True.
False.
True.
So Jackson said false.
And you?
Vincenzo Nibali, road race or the Worlds?
Those are right up his alley.
Oh, boy.
Good descending. He's a great descender.
I'll give it true. Those are 2 races. I'll give it true. Egan Bernal will win the Tour de France in 2020.
True.
False.
False.
I'm going to say false because I think the team will just implode on his ass.
Good call.
Next one, number 5, Chris Froome will win the 2020 Tour de France.
False.
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 False. Although
Because it's just wrong.
one Jumbo Visma rider will win the Tour de France.
True.
Yeah.
True.
True. Wow, everybody
Have a
says
drink.
true.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
says true. Okay.
That's the team, man.
Egan Bernal will finish the Tour de France as the best Ineos rider.
True.
True.
I'll have to say false.
I'm going to go with my gut, and I want it to be false. And I don't mean that nothing against him.
I'm saying true.
I think he'll crash out.
Tom
I
Dumoulin.
don't know what the course is.
I don't
so
either
I'm
yet.
just guessing.
Yeah. Tom Dumoulin will finish the Tour de France as the best Jumbo-Visma rider.
False.
False.
I'm
Yeah,
going false.
False, of
I'm going
course.
false, too. Viviani will win at least one Tour de France stage.
True.
True.
For Cofidis, correct me if I'm wrong,
That's correct.
which are now in the World Tour.
Yep.
Okay, I will say true. Peter Sagan will win one Giro stage at least.
I don't think
Sure.
he's going. Hang on. I can't remember.
He
Maybe
is.
he is going.
Yeah.
Yes, he is going now.
True.
Yep. Oh, yeah, true.
If he's going, he's winning a stage.
Mm-hmm.
Number 11, Peter Sagan will win a stage in both the Giro and the Tour.
True.
True.
Sure.
True.
Yeah.
Julian Alaphilippe will not win a monument in 2020.
False.
False.
I'd say true.
I'm gonna
He's a
go with
marked
true.
man.
I'm going to go with true.
I'm the only one standing alone on that.
There's a lot of marked men.
A French rider will win the Tour in 2020.
False.
No.
False.
False.
Come on.
Ineos will be on the podium at all 3 Grand Tours. I'm saying true.
Brunel is not doing the Giro. I don't know who they're sending.
Depends on who it is.
Garrett Thomas is not
Yeah.
doing it, and neither is Froome.
Oh,
So I say no.
And
I'll
said
say
true.
false.
False.
Shit.
Those three, that's their 3-prong.
You and your research. Karsten?
I have no idea. Based on that, I would have said sure, but based on that, I don't know. No, I guess.
That's false. Peter Sagan will win the green
False.
jersey in the Tour.
True.
I'm going to roll the
Green?
dice. Go ahead.
Peter Sagan will win another green jersey.
True.
I say he crashes out. False.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say
Broke my
I you know what, I'm gonna say false because I pick people who don't do well. So I'm gonna say false. So
Because
Peter
you want
Sagan wins.
to. That's not
I'm
a
playing
wishful.
reverse psychology on fate.
I don't want that to happen. I'm not saying I hope that happens to him. I'm just saying I think he's had some good luck. To have 8, flawless, I think something might go wrong.
Sam Bennett.
I would say this is the last year he can do it.
Yeah, we're getting up there. Sam Bennett will win more stages in the Tour than any other sprinter.
False.
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 We're all saying this, not knowing what the course is.
Yeah,
but sure, I'd
exactly.
say false.
I'm just skipping through because we're running on time. Michael Landa will be Michael Landa. Michael Landa.
Mikel.
I know. I always think of him as Michael Landon.
What a head of hair.
Yeah, will be on the podium at the Tour.
True.
False.
True.
Karsten?
He's with Bahrain Merida
He is.
and not Merida, but McLaren.
He's annoying, though. I mean, can I just say that? Like, sure, true. He's got a chase at it. Yeah, for sure.
I think he will.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
eating. He was eating one of the dog was eating one of the samples from the Tour from the Chase Challenge.
Oh, jeez.
Thomas DeHent will win at least one Grand Tour stage.
Agreed. True.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
True.
And every
That's
yeah,
always-
every
okay.
Grand Tour stage race.
That's
is in.
easy.
Yeah.
One of the 3. Yeah.
And finally, you ready for this? Dylan Groenewegen will win at least one Giro stage.
Oh, easy.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He
I
won't.
mean, that's
He
almost-
won't
that's
win
easy.
a tour stage though.
He won't.
Nope, not one because he's not
Ah.
going. It's loaded
Oh,
for
he's
GC.
not. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot about that.
There we go. Gentlemen, and I guess I have one last question. How's cycling in the United States going to do in the next decade, in the 20s, in the roaring 20s? What is going to what do you guys think, in your own personal opinions? Allow you guys to rant, less than a minute each to end out this episode. How do you guys think cycling is going to evolve in the next 10 years? And I'm anxious to hear this because we've got 3 old fucks and we've got one young one who hopefully has a little bit of, oh, heaven forbid, optimism. So I don't know who'd like to go first.
I'll go first.
Paul's ready to go first.
We will have at least one, maybe 2 different people win a monument or a classic. We will not have anybody win the Tour de France. I think the shift with gravel is going to start directing to one day efforts, and people will start seeing the value of classics and looking at it that way. America spent too much time trying to do everything on the Tour de France, and I think they're getting it squared away over there with those juniors over on in
Yeah.
the Netherlands where they're training. That their focus now is on one-day classics. We're yet to win. We've won an amateur with Quentin.
Yeah.
He won Ghent Belgium.
So that's
So-
so you just came with an optimistic view of the next decade.
Yep.
Karsten, what is your view of the next decade?
As far as the U.S. is concerned,
Yes.
I think that U.S. will be ascendant on the gravity stage.
God, everybody drink.
The mountain bike stage, meaning that we'll start to do better on all platforms, XC, gravity, enduro, men and women. I also think that obviously gravel will become, more prominent just because riding on the road is becoming more and more dangerous, and promoting and putting on road events is becoming more challenging. I think that
we're leading the way in terms of gravel racing, and so that'll gain prominence, and that's kind of it.
Jackson,
I think
talk to us, young whippersnapper.
I think we will have a growth in cycling, whether it be juniors or people of any age getting into it. And I think the platform that will help that is a little thing called YouTube. I think that is having such a great effect, motivating, showing these crazy things that people are doing. Like you and I can turn on the TV and watch Lachlan Morton at any time.
Those are
at any time in our
yeah.
daily lives. We can watch Lachlan Morton do the GB Duro, do Dirty Kansas, do all of these things, and we can watch other people just go around the world and do the thing that we love, but in like these beautiful exotic places, and we can gain motivation from it. And I think that can be a very large helper in getting people on their bikes. Wow, I want to be like this guy. I want to be like that. I want to own all the cool stuff, not to get into consumerism and everything, but like
too late.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I want a POC helmet. I want winter gear.
Yeah.
I want
Exactly.
I wanted look pedals when I saw Bernardino wearing them. So nothing's changed.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think that'll be a very big helper in the next decade.
And you?
I didn't even think about my own response.
Oh,
I'm supposed to just sign off the show right now. I'm not supposed to be somebody with wit and intelligence and response time. I think that road will continue to struggle. But I agree with you, Paul. In the
for
fact,
10 years.
Well, I think it needs some form of a revolution, and I think that the way our current mentality is in this country, with litigation and with constant rage, that cars versus bicycles incidents aren't going away, and I think they're going to continue to increase. And I know that's gloom and doom, and that's why I think that mountain biking is going to have a gigantic renaissance. I think the gravel is going to continue to grow, and I think that road is going to be pushed into some sort of a reorganization where it's going to turn into, in this country, it's going to turn into circuit races. It's going to turn into criteriums and things like that. Or it's going to have to go the way of Great Britain, where it's going to have to turn into a time trial focused perspective. And that saddens me greatly to even mention that. But I think that there's so much innovation in this country that cycling is not going anywhere. I think that virtual cycling is going to continue to grow, as much as that also infuriates me, because I think that people are going to be scared. We're gonna turn into a Ready Player One type of a society, but that's probably not in the next 10 years. It might be in the next 20 years. And I think to mention to my good friend Roger, drink, everybody. There's not enough in my glass to drink. I think triathlon's going to struggle too, because I think it's reached its maximum, and I'd love to have him on to talk about this because and I think it's going to start to decline because people are switching to different things, the newest fad and whatever it may be. But I like your perspective, Paul, in terms of the thinking about, okay, if we've got these riders doing this type of races, how can we funnel that in? And these one-day riders, I think I agree with you. I think that's a cool way to look at it. So there we go.
That's a bummer, man. Do you mind if I do a J? We had this up here, and then you just took it down to the tank.
I think we're generally fucked.
That was
I was
very
like,
Catholic.
Jesus, I feel like, what is the den of iniquity? And
I just went there,
Yeah.
didn't I? I'm the guy who tries to
please listen to the show. It's not always this depressing.
I like to keep it light and bright, but that just fucking brought me out, man.
Jesus, what are you sitting on? I'm gonna make you so angry.
Oh, it's
say that-
what's it called?
The O saddle.
Yeah.
I'm on an O saddle. My wife bought me a Peloton.
Hey, honey.
You guys,
I'm going to say that the mountain bike segment of sales in this industry is rapidly increasing, and
That's a good thing.
due
Yeah.
to that's due to progressive attitudes towards trail access and filmmaking, that people are riding mountain bikes more. And
You're fading out.
no,
That's why
guys,
there's
we were
laughter.
laughing because the entire thing. And I shouldn't laugh at this because it sounded like you were having some sort of an episode.
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
No, it's it's all right. It's all right. I also predicted that within the next 10 years, maybe with 50 episodes a year, we'll produce 500 episodes, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
And
Excellent.
like that.
There we go.
I do want to mention that this has been the year where I made the effort to do a weekly show, and I want to thank you guys, all three of you guys. I want to thank Jack. I want to thank Dismount. I want to thank CP and Amanda and people like that who've been willing to come on and be a part of the show for an entire year, and I've really enjoyed doing it. You, the listener, have
Like Roger. Oh,
no, drink.
Yeah, oh,
And,
drink.
yeah. You have made it known that we're doing something that you give a shit about, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's been fun to produce something that people give a shit about. So with that being said, check out packfiller.com and see what you think of our posts. Karsten was just the fine author of one just today. Yours truly posted one yesterday, and we'll get others from the other characters from within the perspective to be able to post some as we get going. Subscribe to the podcast. I forgot to say shit because we didn't do the trivia tonight. I had a whole thing of trivia going on here, but we didn't do it tonight. But thanks to our friends at Gooder Sunglasses, Gooder Bike, and I guess we'll go from there. It's going to be 2020 in about 24 hours. No, 40.
We'll be on a bike.
And hopefully we'll be on our bike.
No,
And-
no.
No,
Nope.
we'll be on the bike.
Thank you.
We'll be on the bike. Karsten, heal quickly and go for a ride on New Year's Day, man.
Yeah.
Will do.
Right on. And for those of you listening to the show, if you're listening to this before, during, or after New Year's Day, spend more time on your bike and less time ranting about politics and all that bullshit, right? Don't we agree? I think we do. That's the end of the episode.
Night night.
Guys, I'm clear. Karsten,
Yep,
you there, man?
I'm here.
Heal
Okay.
fast, my friend.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Quit hurting yourself.
Thanks.
Talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, later.
Bye.
I'm turning everything off.